The tree grew and became huge and beautiful over the years, holding among its limbs flowers and blossoms and berries and fruits of every kind. Its seeds spread out over the land, and everywhere there sprang up new wonderful trees and plants that grew and prospered until the earth was once again a green planet. Now many years passed. Life went on. Electricity was invented, and cars and television and video games. People used to go to visit the old tree, to sit in his shade and climb his limbs. But now there were too many other things to do, and he was left alone in the forest to think and remember. Until one day a little girl happened along. Her name was Julie, and she was crying. She had wandered off too far from her sister Nancy and gotten lost in the forest. Tired and hungry and frightened, the poor little girl sat down under the old tree and cried and cried. The tree was so glad to have some company, he almost lost his leaves. "Oh, what glory! A little girl has come to see me," he thought. "Maybe she'll climb me or dance around me like the little children used to do so long ago." But Julie just sat there, sniffling and shaking. "Oh my," thought the tree. "Something is very wrong here. Why is she crying? Poor little thing is all alone. She looks so frightened. She must be lost. I know, way out in the forest, but how could I show her? It's been so long since someone has come to see me. I wish she could stay a while." Then he had an idea. He gathered up all his strength and thought very, very hard, and made his trunk a warm and soft cushion for the little girl to lean on. She sat back and was surprised to find it so comfortable, so she closed her eyes and went to sleep. The tree was very happy and kept Julie safe, swatting away the bugs with his branches and warning the mice and rabbits not to wake her. When Julie woke up, she rubbed her eyes and as she yawned, "I'm hungry." "Hungry," thought the tree. "Of course! How rude of me!" And he dropped the biggest, juiciest apple he had right at Julie's feet. Julie's eyes popped wide open when she saw this. She picked up the apple, and in the way that only small children have, she knew that the tree had heard her. So she turned around and said, "Thank you, tree. That's the nicest apple I've ever seen." The tree blushed a bright green at this compliment. He was so pleased he dropped her something else, a peach, fuzzy and bursting with nectar. "Oh my," said Julie, "where did that come from? This is an apple tree." And she looked up and cried out in wonderment when she saw what the tree held in his arms. Apples and peaches for sure, but he also had lemons and plums and cherries, grapes and bananas and pineapples, every different kind of fruit she knew, and some she didn't. He also had blossoms and berries of every kind, and all were ripe and beautiful. Julie looked down again, amazed. She gazed at the tree for many moments, and almost before she could see a face there in the rough bark that had felt so soft and cushy just moments before, a face that smiled back at her. "Are you a magic tree?" she asked, and the tree rustled his leaves in agreement. Julie stepped closer and touched the tree gently. "Thank you for the fruit." She bit into the apple. "It's very delicious," she said, and the bark grew warmer under her hand. "I'd like to stay here longer, but I'm lost. My sister will be looking for me. Can you show me how to get out of the forest?" she asked. But nothing happened. She thought she saw the smile fade, and she understood. "I'll come back and see you whenever I can, I promise. You're the best tree I've ever met." And right away a small twig fell out of the tree. It was shaped just like an arrow and pointed the way right out of the forest. A few months later, Julie was playing in her room with her teddy bear, Cecil. She'd had Cecil ever since her first birthday. Poor old Cecil was beginning to look a bit run down. One of his arms had split and the stuffing kept falling out. His right eye hung down to his chin on a piece of thread, and his little black nose now was all crooked and scratched. Julie looked at him sadly. Poor Cecil. Mommy would be sure to come and take him away from her very soon, and she'd never see him again. If only he were still in one piece. Julie tried to fix him, but he just kept poking her finger with the needle.